Political commentator Peter Barnes has unleashed a scathing critique of Chancellor Rachel Reeves, likening her performance to that of a reindeer in the headlights. Speaking candidly on GB News, he dissected the Chancellor's recent budget announcement, stating, "We knew as soon as they said it would be a budget for growth that it was going to lead to no growth. This blunt assessment hits the nail on the head. The government's promises have proven hollow, and the economic landscape is becoming increasingly grim." The pressing question echoing in the minds of many is straightforward. When should we expect resignations? The answer seems long overdue. Major businesses are sounding alarm bells about the dismal outlook of the economy. The Office for National Statistics has confirmed there was zero GDP growth between July and September, a staggering revelation that underlines the government's failures leading up to the autumn budget. Economists had initially predicted a meager 0.1% growth for that quarter, but reality has dealt a harsh blow. Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey has now grimly forecasted no growth at all for the final months of the year, leaving the populace in a state of disbelief. The stagnation is not limited to abstract statistics, it is palpable in the real world. The economy flatlined, and the services sector saw no growth whatsoever during this critical period. ONS Director Liz McCown noted a worrying trend, stating that bars and restaurants, legal firms, and advertising, in particular, are performing less well. This is not just a minor hiccup. This is a harbinger of deeper economic malaise that threatens to engulf the country. Adding fuel to the fire, political commentator Claire Muldoon joined the chorus of dissent, labeling Labour's leadership as a complete omnishambles. Her call for Keir Starmer's resignation is not just political theatre, it reflects a growing consensus that the party has lost touch with the realities facing everyday citizens. Muldoon articulated a frustration that resonates with many. Labour has forgotten what the real world is like for real people to live in. This disconnect is not just a minor flaw, it is a fundamental failure that could cost them dearly in the long run. According to the latest figures from the Confederation of British Industry, CBI, the private sector is bracing for further declines, with firms expecting activity to plummet in the 3 months leading to March. The weighted balance stands at a dismal -24%, marking the weakest expectations seen in over 2 years. This is not just a statistical blip. It is a clear signal that the economic engine is sputtering dangerously close to a full stall. Andrew Griffith, the Conservative business spokesman, did not mince words in his condemnation of the Chancellor's policies. He declared that the current leadership has fostered a hostile climate for aspiration, for investment, and for growth. His assertion that the Chancellor's tax-raising spree and trash-talking her economic inheritance is literally killing businesses and jobs cuts to the core of the issue. If a recession materializes, and given the CBI's bleak expectations, that seems increasingly likely, it will undoubtedly be a recession made in Downing Street. The urgency for Labour to pivot and recalibrate their approach cannot be overstated. The damage they are inflicting is escalating, and it may soon be irreversible. Alpesh Palija, the CBI's interim deputy chief economist, echoed these sentiments, lamenting the lack of festive cheer in the latest surveys. The data suggests that we are headed for the worst of all worlds. Firms are anticipating cuts to both output and hiring, while expectations for price growth are solidifying. This is a toxic cocktail of economic indicators that signals a downward spiral with devastating consequences for workers and businesses alike. The implications of these findings are staggering. The lack of growth, the rising costs, and the grim forecasts paint a bleak picture of an economy that is not just stagnating but potentially regressing. It is imperative that the government acknowledges the severity of the situation and takes immediate, decisive action. The rhetoric of growth and prosperity must be backed by tangible policies that inspire confidence among businesses and consumers. It is time for the Chancellor and the Labour leadership to face the music. The economic landscape is littered with broken promises and disillusioned citizens who are tired of empty platitudes. The time for a reckoning is now. The longer they wait to address the pressing issues at hand, the deeper the hole they will dig for themselves and the country. The stakes are too high for complacency or half measures. The British public demands leadership that is responsive, accountable, and above all, effective in navigating these turbulent economic waters. If they fail to rise to the occasion, history will not be kind. The cries for change are growing louder, and it is time for those in power to heed the warnings before it is too late.